The president is Kenya's biggest asset. His movements are controlled, monitored, orchestrated, and executed by a trusted inner circle. The president embodies the country's image of leadership, and every asset is at disposal to ensure the safety of the head of state. A single miscalculation can threaten the existence of the president. The president ceases to be an individual as soon as he or she assumes power and immediately becomes a property of the state. So how is the Kenyan president kept safe away from any dangers that would threaten his existence? We dissect the president's security protection detail and how at times the setup has exposed him to lapses. This is the Brief Channel. Hello and welcome. The protection of the president is mandatory. His protection is established under the Constitution of Kenya 2010 that gave birth to the National Police Service Act 2011. The Constitution placing the mandate to protect the president under the National Police Service led by the Inspector General and two Deputy Inspector Generals. Under Section 24 of the National Police Act, there is establishment of the Presidential Escort Unit, famously known as PEU, which is in charge of the president's primary and secondary security. This is without any excuses. The Presidential Escort Unit comprises of the most trained, versatile, and elite officers derived from Kenya's security agencies, all brought together under a joint operation command to design and execute formulas that will keep the president safe and alive during his 5-year term, and if fate allows, also in his or her second constitutional term limit, whether sleeping, daydreaming in the toilet, or on phone call fantasizing, busy working or out in the public. The PEU is mandated to be vigilant, watching over the shadows of the president. In the command structure, the Presidential Escort Unit is headed by a commandant who is a high-ranking police officer in the rank of Assistant Inspector General and who reports directly to the Deputy Inspector General of the Kenya Police Service under the National Police Service. Primarily, members of the PEU are drawn from Kenya's Elite General Service Unit, GSU. To understand the PEU organization while protecting the president, let's first understand the composition of the GSU and how it fits to the PEU. The GSU is subdivided into 4 subunits, which include the Headquarters Subunit, the GSU Reke Subunit, Presidential Guard Subunit, and both its training colleges put under the 4th subunit. These subunits carry with them respective companies that perform different tasks. The GSU has at least 20 field companies spread out in the 3 major subunits. The companies named alphabetically, excluding letters O, P, and U. The headquarters sub-units carries 6 companies, including the VIP Protection Company and the Logistics Support Company. The Reke sub-unit carries the famous Reke Company, while the Presidential Guard Unit carries the Elite G Company. These respective companies are what primarily feed into the PEU. It is these officers that form up the Presidential Protection Detail. The president is protecting through a multi-layered security system involving the elite units, the National Intelligence Service, technology, and coordinated state agencies. The protection goes far beyond the bodyguards that are always seen walking beside the president. In protecting the president, intelligence and prevention matter more than force alone. The intention is usually for the protection systems in place to stop threats before they become visible incidents.
Hebu munisalimie hivyo hewani watu wa Nairobi.
Usually, before the president makes any particular movement, an advanced team of officers drawn from the PU make a visit to prepare a roadmap for the president's arrival and activities. This advanced team comprises of members from the National Police Service and the National Intelligence Service. Their task is to gather sufficient information that will guide and inform the level of protection for the president. The president at all occasions is protected by a 4-layered security ring that should at all times ensure his safety and neutralize any imminent threat. In the first layer of protection, the president is surrounded by an elite team of close protection officers, majorly from the G Company, who position themselves around the president close proximity, with the leader of the ring sitting behind the president when in an event, and if walking, he is always on the right shoulder of the president. The first ring of protection has at least 6 elite officers. The second layer comprises of an increased number of elite officers who provide the second buffer zone in protecting the president, and it is in this layer where the PU commandant is mostly visible. The second layer is the most crucial of the 4. This is because in case of a presidential attack, while the first ring responds swiftly in ensuring the president is not harmed, the second layer is supposed to control, manage and neutralize the danger. If the danger is not neutralized, then the president's safety cannot be guaranteed beyond that. The third layer comprises of visibly heavily armed close protection officers who now control the layered security setup put in place while dictating the force of response. This layer comprises of the dreaded Reke Company officers who are rarely invisible. The fourth ring protecting the president carries the regular General Service Unit GSU company officers deployed, the local police units deployed, and crowd control close protection bodyguards, what mostly are civilians who their task is to aggressively deter the crowd from accessing the president in close proximity while controlling the crowd and any attempted surges on layers 3, 2, and 1. Layer 4 is the perimeter security. While this is happening on the ground, another team from PU majoring in communications and technology is usually implementing encrypted communication systems, studying surveillance cameras while monitoring signals to identify any threats in real time. They are responsible for signal jamming that is always seen disabling digital communication around the president. So, is the president really safe under the Presidential Escort Unit PU? The Reke Company and G Company officers who majorly make up the PU are among the best trained close protection officers that surround the president. They are trained in tactical response, first aid, immediate shielding, combat, physical interception, rapid extraction, and if you know the Reke Company, their specialty is neutralizing sudden threats in seconds. The National Intelligence Service (NIS) before presidential visit assess the area, political hostility, review of protest potential, while examining criminal risk and suspicious persons are monitored. The Joint Operation Command security planners also study in advance the terrain, escape routes, communication blind spots, medical response capacity, and continued crowd psychology in every place the president will visit. While the target is to keep the president safe and alive 24/7, the Kenyan presidential security protection has occasionally seen lapses, and luckily, all the presidents have always gotten away with it. On May 2025, a shoe was hurled at President William Ruto while addressing a public rally in Kehancha, Migori County. The projectile struck and came very close to President William Ruto before security reacted. The real suspect was not arrested. However, this was one of the signs that the presidential security was getting leakages and loopholes. Ruto survived that attack, but several suspects were arrested. In yet another incident, a video circulated on April 2026 showed the presidential security zones overwhelmed and the president extremely exposed in his tour of Lang'ata constituency in Nairobi County. While that seemed just a normal occurrence of politics versus presidential security, on May 24, 2026, the striking moment came. While in a forum in Ganze, Kilifi County at the coastal town of Kenya, a youth breached the presidential security zone, rushing in seconds grabbed the president. That was a serious breach of the presidential security detail. That particular incident stamping authority on increased presidential security breaches that totaled to 5 within 6 months. That particular incident forcing a change in Presidential Security Command, with long-standing Presidential Security Officer Noah Mayuri called from the PU Command, and in his place the Inspector General, trusting the presidential security to be under the General Service Unit Elite Recce Company subunit. William Sawe immediately appointed from serving as the Recce Company commanding officer to become the ranking PU commandant. For a country like Kenya, where there has not been any attempt or successful history of presidential assassination, the presidential protection detail has in many occasions appeared relaxed, allowing some political optics by the president against a strict security protocol. Did you like this video? If you did, remember to subscribe, comment, share and like our video. This is The Brief Channel.